I'm Morgan from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the tomtoc TechPack Backpack, which I've been testing for 3 weeks. If you find this video helpful, hit subscribe so that we can continue making content that helps you travel smarter. Let's jump in. So the exterior is made with an X-Pac fabric, and that plus the YKK zippers makes this bag weatherproof. The boxy frame resembles a modern day briefcase in my opinion that works really well with the all black aesthetic. There's very minimal branding with just the tomtoc logo here on the side, and the rigid structure maintains its shape whether it's empty or full, which is one of the pros of this backpack since it'll stand up all on its own. Moving on to the features, there are 2 front pockets on the front, and then there's a water bottle pocket on the right side, as well as a quick access pocket on the left side, which I will cover more in a bit. And then there are also 2 grab handles, one on the top. This one is made with a very plush padding. It's very comfortable, feels really great to hold. And then there's another one on the right side right here, and thanks to its positioning, it doesn't interfere with the water bottle at all. Also has a luggage pass-through so that it fits on top of a roller suitcase. And one thing to keep in mind though is when you hold it or carry it with this, it does tend to lean forward a little bit. Just something to keep in mind. The water bottle pocket works well. It sits flush when not in use, and it does have a little bit of give, but for the most part, it's fairly rigid. I had no issue getting a water bottle pocket in, although it did require a little bit of finessing, just something to keep in mind. But once it was in there, it never fell out, or I never experienced any issues like that. Moving on to the harness system, these backpack straps are some of the most comfortable that I've ever worn. They're very nicely padded and they're solid, but they have a very nice plush material so that it's very comfortable for extended periods of time. I wore this backpack for a couple hours and never had any issues with it, especially with the S-shaped curve. On both, there are attachment points, which I found works really well with carrying sunglasses. And then they also include strap keepers to help keep everything nice and tidy. There is a sternum strap. It's built in, so it's not removable, and it's on a rail system so that it can be adjusted on the fly. The biggest gripe I have with it is the fact that it's not removable, but I found that because it's hidden in this flap, you can kind of tuck it away when you're not using it, kind of like so, and it stays out of the way for the most part, but it does kind of add to the bulk of it. But I've always been of the mindset that it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So your results may vary. So this is what it looks like on. Like I mentioned before, the shoulder straps are supremely comfortable. I've never had any issue wearing it an entire day. And the S-shaped curve really helps ensure it stays comfortable, even if it's fully packed out with gear. The rigid structure also maintains its shape even on, so it still appears fairly boxy, which I may or may not have accidentally knocked over a few small items in a shop, but it was just something to keep in mind. Moving on to the interior of the bag, the front 2 pockets have this nice weatherproof coating to ensure that your gear stays nice and dry. And the first thing you'll notice is this super vibrant orange, which definitely helps with added visibility. It can be found everywhere, which is really nice. I really enjoyed the black accents, as you can see here, just to kind of help provide a little bit of extra visibility for like pockets and stuff like that. There's a mesh pocket, which has a nice amount of stretch, and here I just have a little portable charger. And then on the other side is a more rigid pocket. It's like a slip pocket, and in here I just have my wallet. Moving on to the second pocket below. This one's a little bit bigger, and it only has 2 slip pockets. They are not very stretchy at all, but you can fit a decent size in them. Have 2 hard drives in here, and then the rest kind of just functions as like empty space so that you can dump whatever you need in there. One of my favorite features of this bag is the quick access pocket on the side. It has this L shape, which allows you to kind of get in and get out while you have the bag on. I found this works really, really well, which I loved. Inside, there's another mesh pocket with a zippered lining where I just have some AirPods. This pocket extends the entire length of the quick access pocket, so it's fairly deep. Then on the other side is another slip pocket. This one doesn't stretch much, but it's still pretty roomy in there. And then it also has that nice black accent like I mentioned before. There's also a key leash, which has like a decent length to it. I really found that this was a good amount where it wasn't too long, but not too short. So I had to like sorority squat in order to open my front door. And I found that this pocket was really easy to use, especially when I had the bag on. Moving on to the tech compartment, on the very back behind the main compartment, there's a 16-inch or a laptop compartment that fits up to a 16-inch MacBook Pro, and it has this very nice soft plush lining to help make sure nothing gets scratched up. And then in front of that is another pocket that you can store a tablet or a notebook in. Opposite of that is a antimicrobial pocket, and I found I just throw my phone in there, or you can put glasses or sunglasses in there, but because this isn't really that padded, I was a little cautious with putting that in there. And then the rest of it can function just as like a dump for any other flat materials such as notebooks, newspapers, magazines, etc. Moving on to the main compartment, these two zippers extend the full length of the bag. And this is a top-loading backpack, which is ideal for day-to-day and can be pretty good for traveling. I found that using packing cubes works really well, especially with this backpack in particular. It opens up fairly wide and it has these gussets to make sure that everything doesn't just kind of come falling out. In here I just have a sweater, a pair of headphones, and then a tech pouch. So as you can see, it's fairly massive. It's about 30 liters. And inside there is two document sleeves, which are fairly massive. Another water bottle pocket, which just keep in mind that this shares room with the side access pocket. And I found having something in both kind of can get a little tight for space. Additionally, there's another mesh pocket with a zipper on the inside that is a little bit stretchy, and then a second zippered pocket right below that as well. And I really liked the way that this was designed just because it allows for you to kind of dump everything that you need in, but it also gives you like a little bit of organization too, depending on what you're looking for. So I found this was like a perfect mix of organization and empty space. So there you have it, the tomtoc TechPack Backpack. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.